Thursday update on I do the 2nd of December 2021. For more updates please don't forget to subscribe. Rashid. See Zoya crying. She remembers Assad's words. Rashid offers her handkerchief. He asks if someone hurt him. She asks how he knows. He says someone in pain realizes others' pain. Rashid says, Jo. Dard apno ke sath na banta ya sake wo ajnabian ke sath banta ya sakta hai. She takes the handkerchief and stops crying. Zoya says she is fine and she is not crying. Rashid says he wishes he had lot more handkeys so he can give her and she never cries. Zoya smiles. Rashid says I got the answer. He says he was there to meet someone and he knew she won't come and waited. You know why? Zoya says no. He says he came to meet and make her smile and it was his wish. Zoya thanks him. Zoya says I don't have any tragedy in my life but there is someone who is kudus and akdu in my life. Mujhe lagta hai wo khandani akdu hai. Rashid says then his father too would more kudus. They laugh. Zoya tells that he always do it like this, but I guess this time I felt it more because I am missing my sister and brother-in-law. Rashid asks apt her parents. Zoya says she have lost them a long time back. At least he has a hope to meet the one he loves but she even don't have the hope. Rashid says when God takes something from you with one hand he gives you a lot more things with 1,000 other hands. He says she will get people who will love her a lot and he will pray for her happiness. Rashid leaves. Dilshad calls Rashid and tells him that she hasn't gone to Mazar and hasn't given the watch to Molvi Sahab. Dilshad says she expects Rashid too has not gone to Mazar to get the watch. Rashid says he is there but not for watch and she knows why he is there. He reminds about God as giving us signs that asks to accept the gift. Dilshad says no, you have to understand the signs given by God. If I would have come there I could have met you, but God didn't want us to meet. Rashid says he understands and pleads her to meet her not always but now and then for few moments. He says he is having a guilt for last 17 years. Dilshad cuts the call saying she can't do it nor she will. Zoya gives the same handkerchief to Rashid. Najma cuts her hair in which chewing gum was stuck. Then she goes and looks for Zoya, finds her missing. Zoya repeats Rashid's words saying, Jo dard apno ke sath na banta ya sake wo ajnabian ke sath banta ya sakta hai. Rashid says, now she does not look like stranger to him. Zoya then I can asks that was she was the same person whom he lost years back and wanted to meet. Rashid says yeah, she was my wife. I lost her because of my mistake and that was the biggest mistake of my life. Zoya says she thought she was the only one who does big mistakes and Kudus Zile Elahi too thinks the same. Rashid smiles. Zoya says cool and she got her answers. She says she was thinking why she is there suddenly. But she had to meet him and make him smile as per God's will. She says sorry I heard our conversation on phone and I feel you really are regretting for your mistake. She asks if she can help him get back Dilshad in his life. Zoya throws her shoes through the window as she sneaks inside her room and finds Najma waiting for her draped from head to toe in a blanket. She asks what's wrong with her, sitting like a ghost? She asks if Zil Ala'i found out she is out? Najma says, no, and Zoya says, it's great as she was too peeved and wanted to take a break. She shares how she met a stranger with whom she yapped a lot. And says that he looked familiar. She says that she felt better talking to the stranger. She asks Najma the matter and if it's 'cause of the gyan given by Zil Ilahi. She says, What had to happen has happened. Najma says that situation has worsened. Zoya makes Najma to take off the blanket and sees that she has chopped her tresses. She asks the matter and Najma says, "'Cause of the chewing gum stuck in her hair she had to cut her hair." Zoya asks if bodybuilder has problem with her hair too. Najma says that Assad doesn't like short hair and she too used to tease short-haired gals. She asks Zoya for help. Zoya says she will help her the moment she gets a good idea and assures to think of it in the morning. The duo fall asleep. In the morning, Nusrat, Nakat, Humaira are walking out when Ayan comes with his car and wishes them. They wonder if it's 12 p.m. already? Ayan says it's 7 a.m. and he is up for social service aka to drop the trio to college. Humaira says he is trying to check out gals at Tihi College Fest. Ayan says no. And they budge after a while and agree to go with him. He asks what competitions are to be held at the fest and Nusrat says Rocky, then self-defense and fashion show too. Ayan is skeptical and then cheers up hearing about fashion show. He asks about Zoya and they all pout. Assad comes to the breakfast table and wishes Dilshad. He asks about Najma and Dilshad says she must be coming. She asks him if he won't ask where Zoya is. Assad stays quiet. Dilshad tells Assad that she knows he didn't like Zoya's antics, but if she found out the reason behind those antics? She says that the guys were misbehaving, so Zoya had to do what she had to do. Dilshad says that if he says bitter things, he has to hear bitter words too. She tells him that he misbehaved with Zoya and till date no guest has been ill-treated like this. Assad apologizes to her and Dilshad tells him to apologize to Zoya. Dilshad says she must be crying in her room. At their room, Zoya gives Najma wig to cover up. Najma is skeptical, but Zoya asks her to recollect her brother's face. Zoya sees the method to put wig from net and puts on Najma. Najma asks Zoya if he won't notice Rashid is all decked up and goes out, and Shireen asks where he is going as it's holiday. He says he is going for some work. Shireen tells him that once he returns they can go to jewelers and ask for price. Her sis-in-law asks where he has gone and she says for some work and outside. She says she asked whatever she told her to. Her sis-in-law asks that a wife should know where hubby is going. Shireen says it's 'cause of her birthday and Rashid and kids are planning a surprise for her. She says she told him she wants new design bangles. Zoya and Najma come for breakfast and freeze on seeing Assad. Najma wonders if Assad heard the whole thing. The duo wish Assad. Assad tells Zoya he wants to talk to her about whatever happened. He asks her to keep Najma out of trouble in. Dilshad interrupts. Assad corrects his stand and says he realizes she was saved from the guys in time and there is no need to get into details. As Bal ki call me Jana Galat High. He says that though what she did was wrong, he had no right to shout on her. He starts to say, I am, and focuses on Najma's hair and asks what's wrong with her hair. As he closes in to check, Zoya steps on his toe and he ends up dropping his Moby. He glares at her. She gulps. At the college fest all the guys are waiting for Zoya, wearing her name Walla shirt. The guy says Zoya is full package. Ayan says he is Salman of Bhopal, and today we'll check out Zoya. Humaira comes and asks him to come inside as even is starting, but he says he will come after fashion contest, and after checking Zoya, Ayan says to the girls around him that the roses are gorgeous. And the gals say it's not rose. And he says he was talking about them. Security ask him to show I-card. He says he is an old student, but security refused to budge. Ayan wonders how to enter. Assad says Zoya broke his phone, and Zoya says not broken, just open, and she will set it. She says it was accidental, and Assad says she sweet. She says SIM is safe so she can fix it. She tells him she can fix anything from computer to car. Assad asks her to show it that she can. She asks him to say the 3 magical words. Assad asks which. Zoya says that which he wants to say. I am sorry. Assad says sorry, Zoya. If that's what she wants to hear, he won't say, even if she waits a lifetime. He asks her to correct his mistake by setting his phone correct. She says not as a correction but as a favor. Assad walks off, and Zoya calls out and asks him to take it. Assad fumes and turns to leave, and Zoya says it's not easy to win against Zoya. He has to say sorry many times. At a cafe, Rashid is chatting with Zoya at a cafe about their strange meeting and soon turning into friends. She comments that in today's world, when friends become strangers, why can't the opposite happen? Rashid too agrees and says that he feels at peace talking to her, even if she is his daughter's age. She says that he would actually be relieved when he meets her, who he went to meet at the Dargah. He says that looks impossible since she's very angry at him. She says that his friend may be very angry, but even the best of friends CLM down and patch up, and she too will. She asks him to tell about this friend. When he begins with her name, she stops and asks him just to talk, not to give details. He goes on to talk about Dilshad and their friendship. When he starts talking about how they met for the first time at his college fest, she is reminded of Najma's request. She immediately takes Rashid's leave, citing the reason, and goes for her college for arts and science. Outside the college, Ayan is ruining missing the college show. And Zoya too, due to lack of ID. Zoya too arrives in an auto, but remembering Assad's words to stay away from Najma, she hesitates. She also sees the principal reprimanding the students wearing T-shirts of her name. They both see women entering in burqas and are struck with the same idea. Meanwhile, Najma is searching for Zoya. Zoya and Ayan, both draped in burqa, collide with each other, and she, hearing a man's voice, takes off the burqa to reveal Ayan. He is about to pick up a fight with her, but then when she threatens him of complaining to the principal that he's entered with the intention of advertising, he scurries off without another word. Also, Nakat and Nusrat are supporting Humaira in her decision to take part in the fashion show when she is being jittery and cold feet just when the show's about to start. They leave her off before 10 minutes of the show to start instilling in her confidence and wishing her all the best. Zoya meets Najma behind the burqa only and reprimands her for not taking part in fashion show. But Najma is adamant that she doesn't want any more trouble and therefore has withdrawn her name. Zoya sees the principal taking somebody in a burqa and is scared that if it's Ayan then he will let out her secret too, and goes after them to find out. Ayan surprises Nakat and Nusrat standing below the stage waiting for the show to start. He asks about Humaira and is told by Nusrat to wait for a surprise that she has planned for him. He doesn't take her seriously and instead flirtingly asks about Zoya. Behind the stage, Humaira is worried seeing the crowd and is waiting for Ayan to show up too, who she is doing all this for. Ayan's residence. Nikat's family is discussing marriage preparations with Haseena when Rashid walks in. He too joins in the conversation and demands to know what would Imraan like as a gift on their first function. Haseena pretends to be modest but then gives in, saying that he likes cars, and especially a foreign model that she can't pronounce the name of. Shirin immediately recognizes the car and says that it's priced at 80 lakhs, which sends the whole Khan family into shock while Haseena looks on. College for Arts and Science. Zoya, hiding from the principal, reaches the backstage wings of the fashion show and finds Haseena having stage fears and developing cold feet on going on the stage. She comes up to her and compliments her on our beauty and asks her to go up. Haseena thinks that it was a foolish idea on her part. Zoya says that she's been overthinking that has affected her decision-taking. She asks her to be confident and believe Ayan herself and walk as if she's walking on a street. When she still is scared, Zoya asks her if she really wants to do it. When Haseena says yes, and she's doing it particularly for one person but can't face the others who would be walking her, Zoya tells her not to look at the others and just focus on the person she's doing all this for. She advises her that she really wants to achieve something, then she needs to have courage, go for it and grab it with both hands. This gives Haseena the confidence boost she needed. She goes up to the stage, and remembering Zoya's words starts walking. Ayan, as she wished, was completely mesmerized with her new avatar, and this makes her very happy, and she finishes the show with confidence. Ayan's residence. The whole of Khan family is visibly troubled at such a big demand, but they save their faces and don't show it. On being asked about Nikat, Haseena is told that she's gone to college. Haseena comments on the futility of it, remarking that she doesn't need to work, then why study? Shirin says the girls of their house go to college to study. Haseena says but not their house's daughter-in-laws, but covers it up, saying that they don't for fear of dark complexion in the sun, again taunting at Nikat's complexion. Saying so, they leave. College for Arts and Science. Backstage, Nikat and Nusrat compliment her on her success. Ayan too joins in praising her and demands to know the motivation behind her new avatar. She says that she is the same old Haseena, but with a new confidence boosted by that girl, who she didn't know, not even her name or what she looks like, but who talked to her for 1 minute and gave her a new perspective. Ayan's residence. Haseena is questioned by her relative on whether they would get such an expensive car before engagement as they had demanded. Haseena says that they would, and if they don't, she can always play the trump card that she has in our hand, i.e. Asad Ahmed Khan.